The diner on 5th Street had seen better days, but it still served the best coffee in town. That's what kept people coming back even as the vinyl booths cracked and the floor tiles chipped. Emma worked the morning shift 6 days a week, her blonde ponytail swinging as she moved between tables at 28. She'd been doing this for almost 3 years, saving every penny she could. The older gentleman came in on a Tuesday morning when the rain was turning to sleet outside. He looked to be in his 60s, maybe older, with silver hair and tired eyes. His brown suit had seen many seasons and his shoes were worn at the heels. He slid into a corner booth and sat there quietly looking out the rain-streaked window. Emma walked over with her notepad and warmest smile. "Good morning, sir. What can I get you today?" He looked up at her and she saw something in his face that made her heart squeeze. It was loneliness, the kind that settles deep in your bones. "Just coffee, please," he said softly. "Black." "How about some breakfast, too?" Emma suggested gently, "We've got a special on pancakes today." He shook his head. "Just the coffee. Thank you." Emma brought him a steaming cup and couldn't help but notice how his hands shook slightly as he wrapped them around it throughout the morning. She watched him sit there making that one cup last other customers came and went, but he remained staring out at the gray day when the lunch rush started. Her manager, Frank, called her over. "Table 7 has been nursing that coffee for 3 hours. He said impatiently, either he orders food or he needs to leave. We need the table." Emma glanced back at the old man. "Give me a minute, Frank." She walked to the kitchen and paid for a full breakfast out of her own tips. Then she brought it out on a tray with fresh coffee on the house. "Today," she said, setting it down in front of him. The man looked at the food, then up at her with glistening eyes. "I can't accept this," he said. "Too late already. Rang it up." Emma lied with a kind smile. "And we can't let food go to waste, can we?" He stared at her for a long moment. "What's your name, Emma?" "Thank you, Emma," he said quietly. "You have no idea what this means." She patted his shoulder gently, the way she used to do with her grandfather before he passed. Everybody needs a little kindness sometimes. As she walked away, she heard him say something under his breath, but couldn't make out the words. The old man came back the next day, and the day after that. Each time he ordered just coffee, and each time Emma slipped him a meal. Frank complained, but Emma always paid for it herself. "You're going to go broke feeding every sad case that walks in here." Frank warned, "He's not a sad case." Emma said firmly, "He's just alone on Friday." The old man stayed until closing as Emma wiped down tables. He finally spoke more than a few words. "Why do you do this?" he asked. "Feed a stranger." Emma paused. "My grandfather used to say that we're all just walking each other home." She said, "Some of us just need a little more help along the way. You have dreams, Emma." He asked, "Things you want to do with your life?" She laughed softly. "Doesn't. Everyone I'm saving up to go back to school always wanted to be a teacher, but life got in the way." He nodded slowly as if filing that information away. "You'd make a wonderful teacher the next week." The old man didn't come in. Emma felt his absence like a missing tooth. Her tongue kept finding the empty space. 2 weeks passed, and she wondered if he was okay, if he'd found another place to spend his mornings. Then, on a rainy Monday, a man in an expensive suit walked into the diner. "I'm looking for Emma Porter," he said. Emma's heart jumped. "That's me. Is something wrong?" The man smiled. "My name is James. I'm an attorney representing Theodore Whitmore. You knew him as the gentleman who frequented this establishment." Emma's blood went cold. "Is he all right?" "Mr. Whitmore passed away last week," James said gently. "But before he died, he made some arrangements." Emma felt tears spring to her eyes. "For this lonely old man she'd barely known. He left something for you." James continued, "Perhaps we could sit." They slid into the corner booth where Theodore always sat. James opened his briefcase and pulled out an envelope. "Theodore Whitmore was the founder of Whitmore Industries," he said, "worth approximately $3 billion. Emma's mouth fell open. "That can't be right. He was testing people." James finished. "After his wife died 5 years ago, Theodore became obsessed with finding genuine kindness. He'd visit different places dressed simply to see how people treated him. When they thought he had nothing, he pushed the envelope toward her in his final weeks. He told me he'd finally found what he was looking for, a young woman who fed him without expecting anything in return, who saw him as a person, not a transaction. Emma's hands shook as she opened the envelope. Inside was a letter in shaky handwriting. Dear Emma, you gave an old man more than meals. You gave him dignity and kindness when the world had become cold. I have no children, no family left. I've decided to leave my estate to establish the Emma Porter Foundation for Education. You will serve as director with a salary that will allow you to help others the way you helped me. The rest will fund scholarships for people like you who dream of teaching. Use it well, make the world kinder. Theodore, tears streamed down Emma's face. I don't understand, she whispered. James smiled. There's more. He said left instructions for this diner to be purchased and renovated in your grandfather's name. It will serve free meals to anyone who needs them, and you'll never have to worry about paying for someone's kindness again. Emma couldn't speak. This lonely old man had seen her, truly seen her, and given her not just money, but purpose. 6 months later, Emma stood in the newly renovated grandfather's table diner, serving coffee to a young mother who couldn't afford breakfast. The foundation had already awarded 50 scholarships. She was enrolled in teaching courses herself. Finally chasing that old dream, on the wall hung a photograph of Theodore Whitmore smiling in his corner booth. Beneath it, a small plaque read, Everyone needs a little kindness sometimes. Emma touched it gently every morning, a reminder that the smallest acts of love can change the world, that seeing people truly seeing them is the greatest gift we can give, and that sometimes angels come disguised as lonely old men in worn-out suits just waiting for someone to notice they're there. If this story warmed your heart, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that remind us compassion costs nothing but means everything. And leave a comment about a time when a small act of kindness made a big difference in your life. We love hearing your stories.